The average American carrying credit card debt is paying an interest rate above 20% right now. That is not a minor inconvenience. That is a machine designed to keep you paying forever. At 22% interest on a $5,000 balance, if you make only the minimum payment every month, you will spend over 7 years paying it off and hand the credit card company nearly $4,000 in interest alone. For money you already spent. On things you may not even own anymore. But here is what the credit card industry does not advertise. That rate is not fixed. It is negotiable. And there are several completely legal strategies that can cut what you are paying in interest by 30, 50, even 100% without damaging your credit score and without needing a lawyer. Here is exactly how. Strategy 1. Call and ask for a lower rate. This sounds almost too simple. It is also one of the most consistently effective things you can do. A 2023 survey by LendingTree found that among cardholders who called their credit card company and simply asked for a lower interest rate, more than 75% received a reduction. The average reduction was more than 6 percentage points. That is not a negotiating win you earn through leverage or legal expertise. That is a win you earn by picking up the phone. The key is knowing what to say. Call the number on the back of your card. Ask to speak with the retention department, not general customer service. The retention department exists specifically to keep customers from leaving, and they have significantly more authority to adjust your rate than a frontline agent. When you get through, you say this: I have been a customer for several years, I have always paid on time, and I have received a competing offer at a lower rate. I would like to stay with you, but I need a rate that is more competitive. Can you help me with that? You do not need the competing offer to be in hand. You do not need to name a specific number. What you need is to sound like someone who has options and is giving the company one chance to keep your business. If they say no on the first call, call back. Different agents have different levels of authority and different incentives at different times of the month. Cardholders who have a clean payment history and have held the account for more than a year have the most leverage. Use it. Strategy 2. Execute a balance transfer. If your credit score is above 650, you likely qualify for a balance transfer card that offers 0% interest for an introductory period, typically 12 to 21 months. This is exactly what it sounds like. You transfer your existing high-interest balance to the new card. You stop paying 22% interest. You start paying 0 for anywhere from 1 to almost 2 years. The math is significant. On a $5,000 balance, moving from 22% to 0 for 18 months saves you over $1,500 in interest, money that goes toward your actual balance instead of disappearing into the credit card company's revenue. There is a transfer fee, typically 3 to 5% of the balance you move. On $5,000, that is $150 to $250. Compared to 18 months of 22% interest, you are still saving over $1,000 net. The discipline required is non-negotiable. You must pay down the balance during the 0% window. When the introductory period ends, the rate resets, sometimes to a rate higher than what you were paying before. Treat the introductory period as a deadline, not a vacation from your debt. Strategy 3. Consolidate with a personal loan. If your credit score is above 660, you may qualify for a personal loan at a significantly lower interest rate than your credit cards are charging. The average personal loan interest rate for borrowers with good credit currently sits between 9 and 14%. Compare that to the 20+% on a standard credit card, and the math becomes clear. Consolidating $10,000 in credit card debt at a personal loan rate of 11%, instead of a credit card rate of 22%, saves you over $3,000 in interest over a 3-year repayment period. The personal loan pays off your credit card balances entirely. You now have one monthly payment, a fixed rate, a fixed term, and a clear date when the debt is gone. There is no revolving balance to manage, no minimum payment trap, and no variable rate that can be raised on you without notice. Financial educator Susie Orman has spent years explaining what she calls the minimum payment trap. The credit card minimum payment is calculated as a percentage of your outstanding balance. As you pay down the balance, the minimum payment shrinks. But shrinking minimum payments mean a longer repayment timeline, which means more months of interest, which means the card company earns more from you. The minimum payment is not designed to help you get out of debt. It is designed to keep you in it as long as possible. A personal loan breaks this trap entirely by forcing a fixed monthly payment that actually retires the debt on a schedule. Strategy 4. Use your home equity if you own property. If you are a homeowner with equity in your property, a home equity line of credit or a home equity loan can provide access to funds at rates between 6 and 9%, dramatically lower than any credit card rate available. This strategy carries significant risk that the others do not. Your home secures the loan. If you default, you risk losing the property. This tool is only appropriate if you have genuine discipline around spending, because the credit cards that a home equity line pays off will now be available again with zero balance, and running them back up while carrying the home equity debt creates a much worse financial position than the one you started in. The strategy works. The risk is real. Know yourself before using it. Strategy 5. Negotiate a hardship program. If you are genuinely struggling to make payments, most major credit card issuers have hardship programs that are almost never advertised. These programs can temporarily reduce your interest rate to 6 or 7%, waive late fees, reduce or suspend minimum payments, and give you a structured path out of the debt without going to collections or damaging your credit further. To access them, you call and you say clearly, "I am experiencing financial hardship and I cannot maintain my current payment. I want to keep my account in good standing. Do you have a hardship program I can enroll in?" You do not need to be in default to ask. You do not need an attorney. You need to ask before the account goes to collections, because once it does, your options narrow significantly. Here is the principle behind all 5 of these strategies. Credit card interest is the most expensive money most Americans ever borrow. At 20% and above, it is more expensive than most mortgages, most car loans, most student loans, and most personal loans. The rate you are paying right now is not the rate you are stuck with. Every one of these strategies exists because someone at some point asked whether the rate was really fixed and discovered that it was not. The credit card company does not call you to offer a lower rate. The balance transfer offer in your mailbox is not the best one available. The hardship program does not get announced on the website. All of it requires you to ask. And now you know exactly what to ask for.